In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the LEGO Movie 2, the second part, while I built a perimeter fence in our little Minecraft world. Sorry if my voice sounds a little rough, I wasn't feeling 100% at the time of recording. Spoilers ahead. Ah yes, the LEGO Movie 2, the controversial second part to its masterpiece predecessor. People online seem to range from hating this film to thinking it's alright. In person, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about it except for when it first came out. I'm being genuine when I say I love this movie. It has great animation, outstanding voice acting, an amazing score, it's funny, and most importantly, it's worthy of holding the LEGO Movie title. This movie is not perfect, but it is truly underrated. This movie starts right where we left off. Alien Duplos show up in Bricksburg, but Emmett decides that maybe it's better to be kind. The Duplo eat his LEGO heart, and an all-out brawl occurs. They fight off the Duplo, but they keep coming back. This results in a super edgy town known as Apocalypseburg being created. It's here in this town that we learn Emmett never changed. Emmett kept that contagious smile even when his friends and neighbors looked at life as hopeless and bleak. No matter what happened, Emmett believed that everything was still awesome, or at least it could be. This different opinion of his led him to be an outcast in a fallen society. He wasn't dark or scary, but instead labeled as weak and naive, and just generally not tough enough. Just like before, Emmett is the LEGO version of Finn. Growing up, Finn likely feels like he has to toughen up or be trampled on. Things like school and work, friends and family are all big stressors in each person's life, but especially at a young age. As Finn gets older, he changes, going from creative and imaginative to detached and resentful. Just about every adult and kid knows that school is hard. If you have just one thing about you that doesn't fit in, you'll be ridiculed. Most of the time, to cope with this, kids will latch onto trends and pop culture to try to fit in. This is why we meet Radical Emmett Extreme, or Rex for short. While Emmett portrays the fun, innocent, creative side of a child, Rex portrays
just the expression of the death of imagination in the subconscious of an adolescent.
Rex is a galaxy-defending archaeologist, cowboy, raptor trainer who likes building furniture, busting heads, and having chiseled features previously hidden under baby fat. The funny part about that joke is that it parodies Chris Pratt, who voices Emmett and Rex, but also that parodies Finn himself. To make himself look cooler, Finn takes inspiration from his favorite movies, TV shows, and music to help create a new, tough persona. Deep down, Rex will always be Emmett. Finn will always have his imagination, but it's up to him to decide whether or not he uses that imagination. Finn has been looking out for himself and in the process forgot that his sister is a person too. All Bianca has ever wanted to do is just play with her older brother, but every time she came back, he repeatedly said no and pushed her away. After trying so hard for years, she put on a facade, acting all tough. She creates mysterious characters with unique abilities and powers. She abducts Finn's characters from the time travel story in hopes it draws him out of the basement where she can talk to him and finally get together in a matrimonial ceremony at 5:15. I'm sure most kids with older siblings have been in a similar situation. All we want to do is play with our cooler older siblings, but they don't want to, so we change for them and try our best to fit in. Bianca trying to fit in almost brought our Armageddon, but at least we learned.
Because everything's not awesome, but can make it a little more awesome if we remember we're not alone in this world.
By the end of the film, we come to this conclusion. Finn and Bianca get along and create a glitterified Apocalypseburg. They work together in the end, and that's what stops our Armageddon. That's the point of this movie. It's a quarrel between two siblings. Finn and Bianca slowly get together after Finn learns
it's easy to harden your heart, but to open it, that's the toughest thing you can do.
At first, they don't see eye to eye. Bianca's glitter and brightly colored spaceships are weird to Finn, but eventually he finds the heart he gave her all those years ago, and he realizes that she may be different, but she's still human, and every human needs a little love. He remembers a time when he was young and wanted nothing more than to play with his Lego. He remembers a simpler time before he got old and jaded, before he forgot what it was like to play with Lego rather than collect them.
I'm gonna grow up, but I won't stop caring about the people in my life. They may see the world differently. That's not bad. I think it's inspiring.
Since its release, I've seen a lot of hate on this movie that I just don't get. People complain about the pacing, and sure, some parts are a little slower than others, but overall, I don't think this movie suffers because of it. Some people complain about it not being funny, and sure, some of the jokes don't land like they did in the first movie, but it is far from unfunny. A lot of the actors, namely Benny's and Batman's, had great comedic timing, and there were tons of good running gags, like the Bruce Willis joke and the banana falling over. Some people complain about the dialogue and bits being overused, and this is one that I will 100% defend to my dying day. The story and dialogue of the LEGO movies come from Finn and Bianca, so of course they're going to be weird and goofy and impressionable and overall not perfect. Like, have you ever seen kids play? The storylines are often extremely convoluted, like Finn's time travel story. And if Finn had just seen Die Hard, of course he's going to have Bruce Willis climbing around in the vents. Some people critique the non-LEGO elements, but I can get behind glitter fabric seas and popsicle cream face peels because that's just how girls play. The one very small thing that doesn't make sense is the sand. Did Finn dump sand in Apocalypseburg, or was it just part of his imagination? Either way, an impressive 49,496,833 grains of sand were rendered, so it doesn't really bug me that much. And each glitter particle, like the ones on Mayhem's wings and Unikitty's planet, were all rendered, which is a feat of its own worth mentioning. Everything in this movie is a stylistic choice from either of the kids, and it bugs me that people hate on it for a variety of reasons. Another example, the music. I know that the songs are a little weird at first glance. It took me a few years of listening to really appreciate them, but now, 5 years later, I can compile a list worst to best. Number 8, 515. This song was used more as a throwaway joke that wasn't even that funny. It doesn't add a whole lot to the plot or the characters and is pretty forgettable. That's why 515 is at the bottom of my list. Number 7, Super Cool. Just like 515, Super Cool adds nothing to the plot, but that's excusable because it's the credit song. The reason this is so low is because I find it the most annoying out of all of them, but its instrumental track is pretty good. And number 6, we have the catchy song. It's a travesty that this song was used for marketing. Like, come on LEGO, 10 hours of the catchy song? It's like they wanted this movie to fail. Apart from the marketing, this song isn't terrible. It's catchy like the name implies, and some of the vocals and instrumental parts aren't that bad either. I'm just personally able to listen to this over Super Cool. That's why it's here. Number 5 is where the songs start getting really good, with Welcome to the Star System. This song was the moment in the movie I realized that there was going to be a lot of music. My brother and I still find it funny and catchy, and no, Wild Style, you were not the only one weirded out by it.
Am I the only one creeped out by this?
No.
Number 4, Everything is Awesome, the remix. This song feels the most in place and least musically to me. It's a great remix of Everything is Awesome, and it's such a jam. I would put it higher if it weren't for the next 3. My number 3 is Everything's Not Awesome. This song displays a theme and caps it off for the most part. Everything is not awesome, but that doesn't mean that it's hopeless and bleak. This song has a lot of jokes and character moments that land, like the Radiohead gag, Metalbeard's spirits being at the bottom of the sea. Overall, just a great song. My second favorite is Not Evil. Not Evil is hilarious. I find myself singing it all the time, and it has so many character moments that are just hilarious. And even though the song is a banger, it's not number 1 because number 1 is... This song slaps on so many levels. It's got a catchy tune, some great character beats, and tons of hilarious bat jabs. It's funny seeing Batman movies get referenced left and right for the sake of humor, and Will Arnett singing will never not be funny. The rap solo was just outstanding, and both Batman and the Queen's parts moved their story forward. And the Bat solo ripping the old Batman theme was fire, but also just straight genius. I don't care what anyone says, the songs add more than they detract, and I'm so glad they were added. Overall, the themes, characters, animation, score, and music were all just as awesome as before, and I really hope this review persuaded you to watch it again and give it a second chance. And that pretty much sums up my thoughts on the LEGO Movie 2, the second part. If you enjoyed today's video, I ask you drop a like and share with your fellow movie lovers. Next week's video is going to be on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, so subscribe so you don't miss out on that.
There's so many more spaceships on this adventure! And yet not nearly enough. Spaceship, 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 spaceship.
Number.
Oh, I like the tune, especially the spaceship part, and also no other parts, just the spaceship part.
Calm down.
Don't touch me when I'm spaceshipping!